Hey, what's up? This is Mac on Demand, and today I am chatting with the very creative, the very talented Philaye Films. He is a producer, actor, podcast host, and an all-around great guy. We had a chance to talk about Black Lives Matter, his web show Flip Flop, and how he's staying sane during the quarantine, and all the other amazing things he's doing in the creative world, especially being a black gay man in today's climate. So stay tuned and check it out. That's on, I think. There we go. Sorry about that. How are you?
No problem. I'm good. How you doing?
Oh, I'm here.
There's so damn much going on right now.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's thank God for CBD oil. I'll tell you that much.
That's good.
Right? Praise him. Yeah, we can get started. I'm very excited to talk to you.
Thank you. I'm excited to talk to you too.
Because I don't know much about you. I did a little bit of research, but I really want to dig deep, and I don't know much except for I know you're from Michigan.
Yes.
I know you're hella creative, and I know that you are, of course, a part of the LGBT community, as I am. With everything going on right now and the all Black Lives Matter conversation being so prevalent, I want to know, what is your specific journey been when it comes to coming out, especially as a black man, and embracing the rainbow as well as you do?
So it was a process for me. I came out when I was right around when I was turning 20. I was 19, turning 20. And I had been in the closet my whole life as a gay man, and it was definitely a process for me coming to terms with that and kind of becoming comfortable enough with that. So around the time I was 19, I finally stopped making myself get girlfriends and spheres, and I think I was watching Empire around that time, and I remember seeing Jamal's coming out story really inspired me. So randomly one day I sent a text message to my mom, and I was like, I go both ways. And so even that was kind of me being uncomfortable, because I basically was saying I was bi, but really I'm not. I'm a homosexual man. So I started easing myself in, sending a couple more texts to family members, and then a couple months later I actually got a boyfriend. So gradually I ended up just fully coming out because I was in love. So it was like, I'm not going to hide this from the world. And all of a sudden, I think a switch flipped, and I was just comfortable all of a sudden.
I love that. I'm also a part of the Buy Now, Gay Later program, so I relate. I relate to that. Another thing that I've been obsessed with lately, especially with all that's going on. By the way, I feel like I asked how are you, but seriously, black person to black person, how are you doing, mentally, emotionally? Are you okay?
This week I am doing well. Especially as a black person, I was having a real hard time at the very beginning of June and end of May, right around closer to the time when George Floyd passed and things were more ramped up. I was having a really hard time. During quarantine, I've been kind of up and down. Mm-hmm. And right now I am at a high point, and my birthday is coming up in a couple of weeks. So Yay. I'm grateful that I do feel well, but it's been hard because it's been back to back with the pandemic and then Black Lives Matter and people being murdered, and more people still being murdered since George Floyd. With Black Lives Matter going on strongly now, I feel like it's been hard because every day that we log on, we see that somebody else has been lynched or just in some way murdered, and it's all linking back to the racism and police brutality. And then there's also the black trans people who are being targeted. So then it's creating this issue within the black community, because you mentioned all Black Lives Matter, and a lot of people aren't understanding that, and they aren't understanding that is not the same thing as all lives matter. It's a completely separate thing.
Exactly. And I love what you said about the all Black Lives Matter and how people kind of misconstrue it a little bit, because I want people to understand that gay people and queer people, the queer community, are not trying to co-opt a movement. We're just saying, hey, we're in here too. We're also black. Anyway, back to you. This is about you right now. I want to commend you on just everything that you're doing right now. I think with the way that you've been putting your work out there, the production value that you are putting into your work, the quality, man, I want to commend you on all of it, because it's rare that you see people who are in your position who are able to put stuff out that looks like what you've been putting out with the Sex and the City project that you put out with the Flip Flop, which we'll talk about in a bit. And it looks as good as it does, and it reads as well as it does, and it's quality content without some big push from a studio or a big company. It's all you. So I commend you on that. I do.
I appreciate that. I'm glad that you like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I want to talk a little bit about it, because I know that you're, of course, we talked about it, hella creative, but I know that you also have past experience in the world of finance and currently in the corporate world as well. So as being a black gay man, I want to know if you can speak to the differences in those worlds and how they kind of compare. Like, do you think it's a little bit like, what challenges have you come across in the corporate world compared to the creative world? Is one easier than the other? Is one harder than the other?
That's a good question. I would say that in some ways the corporate world can be easier, because you're more so just there to, like, you know, be a robot and fit as a piece within their puzzle in a way. So as long as you can exhibit a certain level of skill that'll kind of do what they need you to do, then your sexuality and race don't have to play as big of a factor. But within that, I'll also say that in some of the finance jobs that I've experienced here in LA since I moved here a year and a half ago now, I definitely have experienced racism, and I guess I wouldn't necessarily say it had to do with my sexuality in those situations, but as a black man, I think that it has been difficult, because in being a young black man in these white corporate spaces, I feel like I get put on, like, every action that I take is nitpicked way more than I think a lot of the white or just non-black counterparts. And I feel like there's an expectation of me to be stupid and me to just be somebody who's kind of there as a filler. So then, say if one little thing happens, all of a sudden, you know, somebody might react in a way that makes you realize, oh, okay, so there's like other things at hand going on here. And so that has been kind of, in my finance experience in LA, that's been a little different than New York. Because I didn't experience that in my job in New York, but here, I'll definitely say it's been hard being a black man. It's like, I've even been accused of stealing. You know how, like, the company will have food ordered, and everybody gets their Chipotle meal? I worked there, so of course I had a Chipotle burrito. Somebody accused me of stealing theirs, this white woman. And that really just, little things like that were tainting my experience with that company. So I think being a black man is hard in the corporate workspace, and it's been fucking frustrating me. And in the creative world, I would say it's definitely an inevitable barrier, and especially to be doing what I'm doing, I'm kind of conscious of the fact that in a lot of ways, you know, you are trying to go against the grain and go against the mold, and you have to be conscious of the fact that, for example, you know, a lot of just networks and things like that, they don't have some slate of black and gay shows or anything like that. You're basically trying to break the door down. You're not really trying to just fit within their system. It's, in some ways, it feels like a political act, even to just be making art that, in a lot of ways, my artistic career, me deciding that I wanted to go into TV and film, it wasn't really, in that moment when I realized it was my passion, it wasn't really a political decision. It wasn't like I want to be the representation for black gay people. It more so was me as a young, like 21-year-old at the time, just realizing, dang, I'm really passionate about this type of art, and I really feel like, you know, this would be a fun career path for me. But once I got started on it, I quickly realized, like, from the beginning, even when I was just 22, starting the web series Black Sex in the City, like, it quickly becomes more of a political thing because you are a Black gay voice and you have to make sure that everything that you're doing is going to be, of the highest quality if you want to even have a chance.
I want to touch back on something that you said that I thought was very important. You mentioned self-care and being involved in other artistic projects that you're doing right now. I want to know, especially with everything being so heavy, what exactly are you doing to maintain your joy?
I would say that one of the major things necessary for my joy actually is working towards a goal and progressing and growing and working on something passionate. Like, I really find passion from doing, because I'm a little bit of a restless person. So with me being in the house all the time, doing and having things I'm working towards for my business have that's really helped me out. What else have I been doing? Watching TV helps me a lot. Watching my favorite shows every day helps. Like, Schitt's Creek is one of my favorites, and Insecure. I've been watching that 70s show really randomly. I have never seen it. And
Are you serious? I've been binging. I've watched it, like all of it, like 12 times already. But I've been binging it recently again because it really doesn't get enough credit. It's so good.
I could go through so many of the characters and how funny they are.
And Jackie Burkhart is my hero. I just have to say that.
The voice and inflection she put into that character's comedy, that she deserves all of the awards.
Yes.
That shit is amazing. I'm at the part right now where Dominic and Aaron just broke up, and they really covered the breakup really well. Like,
and it stretches on. It lingers. You gotta keep going at it. It's such a well written, well acted too. Like I would even say it like really bears more so on the acting than the writing itself, because they're also really good at delivery.
They're so good. They're so good. The mom's laugh.
Kitty is.
Her laugh takes me out every time.
She's amazing. Insecure is my jam too. I don't know how I feel about that finale, but it's still my jam. I'm still gonna work through it because
That's real. Oh my gosh, yeah. So I've just been watching those and doing my stuff, and then also just taking care of my home space and keeping my home up, and kind of buying some things for it to make it more enjoyable for me and stuff, like my futon and just different things. That's helped me out. So just doing whatever I can to stay sane every day basically has been necessary.
Oh, that's dope. That's really dope. I mean, well, speaking of joy, this conversation has brought me a ton of joy. I love speaking with you. And I thank you so much for what you do, because I feel like we need as many Black voices out there telling stories, as many Black gay voices out there telling stories and doing what you do. And I think it's beautiful. And I thank you for sharing your time with me. And another thing that brings me joy, I have to tell you, is your name. I know your name is Phil, correct? But like Philaye is the name of the brand. I love it. It reminds me of Filet-O-Fish, which is the superior McDonald's item. I just want to point out. So everything about you brings me joy, and I appreciate you so much, man.
Well, I appreciate you too. Thank you for having me on here.
Of course, anytime. Hey, what's up? This is Mac on Demand. So remember that this is only a portion of the interview, and if you want to hear the full clip, head on over to our podcast.